Picture this ancient night, a fire dying slowly. One figure sits alone, staring at empty space, where someone used to sleep. Heartbreak isn't modern invention. It's older than language, older than fire itself. Before words, there was loss. Before writing, there was longing. Every human who ever lived has felt this exact ache. 10,000 years changes nothing. The chest still tightens. The throat still closes. The mind still replays memories. Ancient humans buried their heartbreak, literally in the ground. Grave goods tell silent stories. Bones curled around empty space. Skeletons found holding nothing, reaching for a ghost. What happened when love vanished? When a mate disappeared forever? Did cavemen cry at night? Did they stop eating completely? Did obsession consume their minds? How did tribes handle broken hearts? The answer will surprise you. It explains modern heartbreak too. Your pain has ancient roots. Let's go back in time, back before recorded history began. Here's the real question. How did ancient humans survive heartbreak? Not survive hunger, survive love loss. Losing a mate meant losing everything. A hunting partner, a protector, a source of warmth at night. Heartbreak wasn't just emotional pain, it threatened actual survival itself. So, what did they do? How did grief actually work? And how did they move on? The science tells a story. Why should this matter today? Because your brain hasn't changed. Same wiring, same ancient circuits, same chemicals flooding your body. When modern love ends today, your brain reacts like starvation, like literal physical withdrawal symptoms. This isn't weakness, it's biology. Ancient survival systems still running. Attachment kept early humans alive. Losing attachment triggered alarm bells. Your ancestors needed their mate for food, warmth, protection, survival. Breaking that bond meant danger. The body still remembers this. Heartbreak feels like real threat because once it truly was. Understanding this changes everything now. You're not broken, you're human. An ancient human still healing. Meet life, an early human. 20,000 years before writing. Life shares a hut with ex-partner. They've hunted together for seasons, slept beside the same fire, raised children under one roof. Their bond ran deeper than words. It was survival and love. One morning, everything changed forever. Ex-partner didn't wake up. A fever took hold overnight. Life shook the still body. No breath, no heartbeat, nothing. The fire crackled on, oblivious. Outside, birds kept singing softly. The world didn't pause for grief. Life sat frozen, unable to move. Hours passed without one sound. The tribe gathered near the entrance. Comforting friend stepped forward slowly, placed a hand on life's shoulder. No words could fix this moment. Sometimes presence matters more than speech. This is where our story begins. Not with death, but with aftermath. What happens after the loss hits? How does a heart keep beating when it feels completely shattered inside? Ancient answers wait in the evidence, buried in bones, tools, and ash. Let's start with the brain itself. Love creates real chemical bonds. Oxytocin ties two people together. Dopamine rewards being near your mate. These chemicals built ancient relationships too. When a mate dies, chemistry crashes. Oxytocin levels drop suddenly, sharply. Dopamine reward system goes silent. The brain enters withdrawal mode, similar to quitting an addiction. This isn't metaphor, it's neuroscience. Grief activates the same brain regions as physical pain does, literally. A broken heart hurts like injury. Ancient humans felt this same ache. Their nervous systems weren't different. Same limbic system, same wiring. Cortisol floods the stressed body. Sleep disappears, appetite vanishes completely. Life stops eating for 3 days. The body forgets basic hunger signals. Grief overrides survival instincts temporarily. This happened in every ancient tribe. Mourning wasn't optional, it was biological. The body forces you to feel. There's no skipping this process. Even ancient humans couldn't escape it. Their tears carried the same purpose. Crying releases stress hormones outward, a biological pressure release valve. Ancient tears fell for real reasons. Not weakness, but chemical necessity. The heartbreak itself protected something deeper. It forced the tribe to notice. Visible grief pulled people closer. Isolation back then meant death. So grief became a signal, a silent call for support. Life's swollen eyes told a story. The tribe read it instantly. No words needed, biology spoke loudly. This is the first hidden truth. Heartbreak evolved as a survival tool, not just pain but purpose. Now let's look at the evidence. Archaeologists dig up ancient graveyards often. What they find is startling honesty. Skeletons buried holding hands together. Two bodies, arms interlocked forever. Found in burial sites worldwide. Some graves contain personal belongings too. A necklace, a tool, a bead. Placed there by grieving hands. These weren't random burial choices. They were acts of devotion. One famous burial shows something haunting. A person buried facing their partner. Bodies angled toward each other permanently. Even in death, closeness mattered. Some graves show repeated visits. Layers of offerings over time. Someone kept returning, kept grieving. Months, maybe years after burial. This tells us something powerful. Grief didn't end quickly then either. Ancient mourning lasted a long time, just like modern heartbreak does. Some skeletons show signs of self-harm. Scratches, cut marks, ritual wounds. Grief expressed through the body itself. Pain needed a physical outlet. Other cultures shaved heads in mourning, a visible marker of loss. Everyone could see the grief instantly. No hiding it, no pretending. Ancient societies normalized visible sorrow. Unlike today's silent suffering culture, back then grief was public property. The whole tribe carried it together. Life wears ash across the face, a mark everyone recognizes immediately. This person is grieving, it says. Give them space, give them care. Archaeology proves grief rituals ran deep, deeper than most people assume today. Our ancestors understood something we forgot. Grief needs witnesses, not isolation. Ash, scars, and shared graves prove it. Evidence buried for thousands of years, now waiting to teach us something. Every ancient tribe had grief rituals, structured ways to process the pain. Mourning wasn't left to chance. The tribe built systems around sorrow. First came the gathering ritual. Everyone stops what they're doing. Work pauses, hunting pauses, everything pauses. The tribe circles around the grieving. Comforting friend brings food without asking. No words exchanged, just quiet presence. Food became a language of care. Then came the storytelling ritual. Someone speaks about the lost person. Their laugh, their strength, their kindness. Memory kept alive through shared voice. This wasn't just comfort, it was medicine. Speaking grief out loud releases pressure. Silence lets pain fester internally instead. Tribes instinctively understood this balance. Next came physical touch rituals. Hands on shoulders, arms around backs. Touch regulates the nervous system directly. Ancient humans knew this without science. They just knew closeness helped healing. Some tribes practiced ritual wailing together. Loud collective crying, synchronized grief. One person's pain became everyone's pain. This spread the emotional weight around. No one carried grief completely alone. Isolation was the real ancient danger. A grieving hunter alone often died. Distracted, weakened, vulnerable to predators. So the tribe refused to let go. Comforting friends stayed close for weeks. Sleeping nearby, hunting nearby, existing nearby. Grief needed a witness at all times. This was survival strategy disguised as kindness. Every culture developed some version of this. Different rituals, same underlying purpose. Keep the grieving person connected always. Never let heartbreak isolate someone completely. This principle protected the entire tribe, because one person's death shouldn't cause two. The rituals were quietly brilliant, honestly. Now let's watch this play out. Days after the loss, life struggles. Waking up expecting ex-partner beside them. Reaching across an empty sleeping mat. finding only cold ground instead. The mind refuses to accept reality. Life keeps ex partner's tools untouched. A carved spear still leaning there. Can't bring themselves to move it. Objects hold memories like small anchors. Ancient humans kept belongings for years, refusing to let physical proof disappear. This is where obsession quietly creeps in. Life starts talking to the empty space, whispering things ex partner will never hear, walking to places they once shared, standing there for hours unmoving. The tribe watches with growing worry. This pattern looks familiar to them. They've seen this before in others. Grief that refuses to release its grip. Comforting friend decides to intervene gently, sits beside life without judgment first. You don't have to talk, they say, just sitting there, breathing the same air. Slowly, life starts speaking small fragments about the last conversation they shared, about guilt for words left unsaid. Obsession often hides unfinished emotional business. The mind loops, searching for closure, replaying moments, searching for different endings. This happened in ancient minds too. Human brains crave resolution, always have. Comforting friend offers a different kind of comfort. Not fixing the pain, just witnessing it. It's okay to still love them, they whisper. And okay to still be here, breathing. This single sentence cracks something open. Life finally cries, really cries, first time. Not quiet tears, but full body sobbing. The tribe doesn't look away, doesn't flinch. They simply stay close, present, unwavering. This moment becomes a turning point quietly. Grief needed permission to fully arrive. Once it arrived, it could finally move. Weeks pass, the obsession slowly loosens grip. Life still visits ex-partner's grave sometimes. But the visits grow shorter, calmer now. The spear gets picked up again eventually. Used for hunting, not just remembering. Objects transform from shrines into tools again. This shift means something is healing inside. Not forgetting, but integrating the loss. The ache stays, but stops controlling everything. This is what ancient healing looked like. Slow, communal, deeply human. Here's the mechanism nobody talks about. Grief isn't linear, it's cyclical instead. Ancient humans move through waves, not stages. One day calm, the next day shattered. This confused people who expected straight healing. But the brain doesn't work that way. Memory triggers fire randomly, unpredictably, always. A smell, a sound, a shadow. Suddenly life is back in that moment. This happened to ancient humans constantly too. A familiar birdsong near ex-partner's grave instantly pulls life back into grief. The tribe learned to expect these waves. They didn't rush the grieving person forward. Healing had no fixed timeline back then. Some grieved for months, some for years. The tribe simply adjusted their support accordingly. This flexibility mattered more than any ritual. Rigid expectations would have caused more harm. There's another hidden truth here too. Obsession often masks fear of forgetting. Life feared losing ex-partner's memory completely. So the mind clung tighter, desperately. Holding on felt safer than letting go. Ancient tribes understood this fear deeply. They created memory rituals specifically for this. Telling stories kept the person alive symbolically. This solved the fear without prolonging pain. You could remember without staying stuck. Modern grief often lacks this ritual structure. We are told to move on too quickly. Ancient humans knew better than rushing grief. They gave sorrow the time it needed, but never let it isolate the person. That balance is the real hidden secret. Not suppression, not obsession, but balanced presence. The tribe held space without forcing outcomes. This is emotional wisdom thousands of years old. Something we're still relearning today, honestly. Our ancestors mastered grief through community structure. We've replaced community with silence and pressure. This shift might explain modern heartbreak struggles. We grieve alone now, unlike our ancestors. That isolation makes healing so much harder. This is the twist worth sitting with. Here's the deeper, stranger truth though. Ancient humans didn't just survive heartbreak. They rewired their brains to move forward. New bonds could form chemically over time. The same oxytocin system rebuilds itself, attaching to new people, new connections. This isn't betrayal, it's biological necessity. Survival required forming new protective bonds. Life eventually bonds again with the tribe. Not replacing ex partner, but expanding love outward. The heart doesn't have limited capacity, it grows new rooms for new people. This shocked early researchers studying grief patterns. They expected permanent damage, found adaptation instead. Ancient humans were built for this resilience. Heartbreak oddly made communities stronger overall. Shared grief created deeper tribal bonds. Everyone who helped life felt closer afterward. Comforting friend in life grew genuinely closer. Not romantically, but through shared vulnerability. This is the twist most people miss. Heartbreak wasn't just personal, it was communal glue. It forced tribes to practice compassion regularly. Compassion strengthened survival odds for everyone. The tribes that grieved together stayed together. The ones that isolated grievers often fractured. Evolution favored communities that handled heartbreak well. This is why humans developed such deep empathy. Heartbreak literally shaped human social evolution, not a flaw, but a feature all along. Your capacity for deep love causes this pain, but that same capacity built human civilization. Every song about heartbreak echoes this ancient pattern. Every story of loss connects back to this. Ancient humans didn't have therapy or books. They had presence, ritual, and each other. Maybe that's still the actual answer today. Not fixing grief, but not facing it alone. Life eventually smiles again, genuinely, unexpectedly. While hunting beside comforting friend one morning, the grief doesn't disappear, it just changes shape. It becomes part of the story, not the whole story. This transformation took ancient humans time and community. Exactly what it still takes today, honestly. The twist is simple: heartbreak connects us. So, what does this really mean for you? Your heartbreak isn't a personal failure, it's an ancient survival system activating. The same system that built human societies. When you feel broken after loss, you're echoing every human before you, every ancestor who buried a partner, every tribe that gathered around grief. You're not weak for struggling this hard. You're wired exactly like your ancestors were. The isolation you feel is the danger, not the grief itself, but the loneliness. Ancient wisdom says find your comforting friend, someone to sit beside you silently, someone to bring food without asking questions, someone to let you cry fully unashamed. This is survival wisdom, not just comfort. Grief shared is grief that eventually heals. Grief hidden is grief that eventually festers. Your ancestors knew this in their bones, literally in the bones we've excavated. Holding hands even in death forever. That image should change how you grieve. Reach out, don't wall yourself off completely. Let people bring you food, sit closely. Let yourself cry without shame or timeline. Let the obsession phase pass through you, without judging yourself for feeling stuck. Healing was never meant to be solitary. Not 20,000 years ago, not now. This is the meaning buried in old bones. A message written without words, without language. You are not alone in this pain. Humans have survived this since the beginning. And humans have always healed the same way. Together, slowly, through presence and patience. This is survival wisdom worth carrying forward. Heartbreak connects you to every human ancestor. That connection itself is a form of healing. Let that truth settle in your chest. So picture that ancient night again. The fire, the empty sleeping mat, the figure sitting alone in darkness. But now picture what happens next. Comforting friend walks quietly to the firelight, sits down close without saying anything. The tribe gathers slowly around them both. No fixing, no rushing, just presence. This is how humans always survived heartbreak. Not by avoiding the pain, ever, but by never facing it completely alone. Somewhere in your own chest right now. An ancient system is quietly working too. The same one that healed life. The same one that healed every ancestor. Heartbreak is old, older than memory itself. But so is the healing that follows it. Every tear you cry echoes backward in time, connecting you to thousands of grieving humans who somehow eventually learned to smile again, who found new fire, new warmth, new bonds, without ever truly forgetting what they lost. That's not a flaw in being human. That's the entire point of being human. To love deeply, to lose painfully sometimes, and to heal slowly, together, always together. The fire crackles on into the night. Two figures now sit where one sat. The tribe sleeps close, watching, protecting quietly. Tomorrow the sun rises like it always does. Grief will still be there, softer now. But so will everyone standing beside it. This is how heartbreak has always ended. Not with forgetting, but with belonging again. Heartbreak is ancient, so is love.